So I know I haven't made a video talking about map theory or how to play in a really long time, so today I wanted to go over one of the first LAN matches that was played on Overpass recently, since it just got added to the pool. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to instantly say, Amedi play like they find mouse in Burger King trash, NACS. Chicken coop no HLTV, cause they busy fix toilet, not bomb site, NACS dead. Amedi was at the major and you weren't, and you're gonna see some insane stuff in this review that I've never seen before, and you're also gonna see how some things haven't changed since CSGO. So if you stick around until the end of the video, you're guaranteed to learn something. I'm mainly gonna be looking at things from M80's perspective, since they are on paper the better team than Chicken Coop, as well as being the match winners, spoiler alert. Also in CS2, I had a 70% win rate on this map in top 500 facing until they took it out of the pool, and almost a 65% win rate in CSGO for 200 matches.
Oh my god!
Dude, this round is unreal.
Overpass is one of my favorite maps ever, and I'm going to show you what's so good about what M80 do in this game.
Guys, as I was editing this, they played another map on Overpass, but I mean, you're gonna get the same stuff from this demo. They do the exact same stuff. Come on now.
It is what it is.
Get off my fucking back! You think I care? Oh no!
I could be dead tomorrow.
Today's video is made possible by Clash GG, the only place you need to go to play games and win free prizes. If you use my affiliate code ONEBIRD, you get 3 free cases and a 5% deposit bonus with absolutely no strings attached. You can deposit with CSGO skins, Visa, PayPal, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and many more. You can also withdraw directly with CSGO skins or use crypto. Right now, Clash is running their summer event where you can get beach balls for playing to use to open new cases and enter raffles. You can also compete in the event leaderboard to win extra prizes. Every 30 minutes, you get free gems rained onto you just for being on Clash. They've got case battles, case opening, Plinko, double, a skin upgrader, crash, and tiles. Use the link in the description and type in my promo code ONEBIRD for 3 free cases. Thank you to Clash for sponsoring today's video. So Chicken Coop is gonna win the knife round and they pick CT, and it's pretty obvious because Overpass had a 55% win rate in MR12 on CT side, so it makes sense. In the first pistol, Chicken Coop runs a strat that we like to call all noobs go B, which is where you send 4 people B in whatever spot they want with 1 player going A and getting info. M80 chooses to do a fake on A site and it draws a crazy rotation from Chicken Coop. But then they just send it out of con with a flash from mid. I want to show you how Lake moves in this crazy way around bridge to entry for his team, even though it doesn't work. And it only doesn't work because J-Chance hits a crazy shot on him and his teammate, but you can see how hard it is for him to pull it off. Look at this from Gabe's POV and tell me that you can hit this guy. The next round, M80 has full Glocks with no nades and they just choose to rush long, and J-Chance fights, but he gets one and dies. Slacks is able to jump up and get a pretty nice kill from the half wall, but since M80 is so far back off of these entries, M80 decide to slow down. This is super common on Overpass, where if they decided to run up from long range here, they'd most likely meet more CTs with a very short rotate from B. Chicken Coop then noticed that since they didn't decide to just sprint into A off these kills, they most likely started walking somewhere in connector or towards water. Since Seabass chose to rotate A here, that means if a B hit comes, he won't be able to rotate in the man disadvantage in time to stop it. So they group up and walk through mid. Since M80 has no armor, this is just an easy cleanup for Chicken Coop. In round 3, you see a classic default setup with 3A, 1 connector, and 1 monster. Typically, this is the normal position-based default that you're going to run on T side, where everyone goes to their standard position. As you can see in Playground, the Molotov that the CTs throw isn't perfect to cover the Playground entrance, so M80 just tank it for 1 tick, and they're still above 89 HP, which is the dink range. So they basically negate this Molotov's purpose entirely. You can see here that Slacks positions himself on this left wall, which is much deeper than you think, and it leads him to being able to hold for this long push. Since Chicken Coop threw the smoke and Molotov combo alongside pushing long, Sin takes a chance and he spams this hard to clear left wall of Fountain, as there's most likely some kind of other push happening at the same time with long, and it opens the round up. After those 2 kills, M80 make the highest percentage play and they choose to rotate B. What happens on a map like Overpass when you get opening kills is that since the map is so large, so much of the map is given up after you get an early opening pick that players on CT are forced to rotate to pick up something, whether that be from B to A to hold sight from bank, or try to re-aggro like we saw in the last round. But even though they make the right play, what we see on the monster contact is Seabass throws a fantastic HE nade and takes a last stand fight on the exec, leading to a round win. In round 4, M80 choose to get a hero galil and see if the monster players mess up. Basically, they're waiting to see if monster either doesn't get smoked for whatever reason, or it doesn't get re-smoked. And if it didn't, they would try to walk out. But they choose to cancel. Swisher and Con throws a really nice Molotov off this part of the map that you've probably never seen before, while his team is just going ape mode at long. Going later into the round, we see now that Wreckmeister is jiggling on site with a smoke to drop defensively, when either time is running low or contact on the exec is made. But a very subtle detail on how this map is different from CSGO is that this defensive smoke doesn't give any annoying one-ways to the CTs, meaning the Ts will just be using it to pop through. Sin throws a flash for his team and they hope for the best, and Slacks is able to trade. In the afterplant, even though Hex is the one to get the kill on Seabass walking up in the now uncleared territory of the con flank, Slacks importantly moves around long through to mid, essentially securing the afterplant. As on this late timing, it's going to be unexpected for somebody to have timing Seabass behind him in case he was able to kill and start defusing. Going into round 5, we have a T-side anti-eco versus pistols. Hex knows that most likely, the other team won't force for a Molotov, and one of the strongest things you can do for info on your team on T-side is to take a risk and get short control. As if you see or hear anything in this forward position, your team will have a very easy time doing other things around the map since the map is so big. As you can see, M80 take things really slow and methodical, just waiting for the CTs to make a move, since their guns are so weak that it's unlikely that all 5 M80 players are going to die alone easily. It gets messy when they find the stack, but it's cleaned up pretty quick. So finally now we have an op versus an op. Slacks sees this smoke and fountain and throws a standard default Molotov for party and posts on this really annoying angle to hold for the long push. Lake sees that there's this gap in the smoke that Chicken Coop threw and he walks around it. He then throws some standard divider take nades and flashes for his team, but I think M80 shouldn't have skipped the step where you smoke front bathroom as his teammates just die to an op. Even if J-Chance had a rifle here, he still had the chance to get a kill on one of the con players and live. After all this chaos, Slacks dies long, but he sees 2 people. Lake makes the play to go up A site, as there's most likely only one rotator playing somewhere close to A at this point, and he gets the entry. But Gabe playing solo B holds the flank and he ends this chaotic round. In the next round, Slacks has enough money on his team to get another op, and he does one of the lesser seen aggro op peaks, but it's super strong, where you fast smoke the short Molotov and you swing behind your teammate's short Molotov on the other side. At the same time, however, Gabe makes this premeditated play to attempt to interrupt the default of the monster player since he doesn't know that this op peak is happening. Seabass runs back and throws a set lineup, and even though it misses, Gabe kills the guy outside of B. This round becomes full chaos, but M80 still find a way to force their way out of monster and win the trades. We now have an anti-weird buy for the Ts. You don't really know what the CTs are going to have, so you just kind of have to play in a little bit of a safe way. But Swisher makes one of my favorite plays to do on this map against pistols, which is where you Molotov con instantly, you pause for a little bit, waiting for the swing through the Molotov for a potentially easy kill, and then run up and throw a nade or another Molotov from another teammate and slowly fight. And again, you can do this with 2 Molotovs and another teammate right behind you. M80 just simply go up long and do a full execute on A. As you can see, it clears everything on the site. Then we move to round 9. After Swisher tries to go for some early aggro finds, but he gets no information in connector, M80 end up just kind of walking around in mid. Sin throws the nades that Lake should have thrown on that previous round, giving them some space to move up mid. Slack searches with a jump spot in long, and he finds info on 2 people. This prompts the entire M80 team to walk up mid and do a pop exec on A site, since it's most likely going to be weak in the meantime while these people have to come back from long. For this execute, Sin throws a long Molotov to cut off anyone holding close on the line, flashes behind default, and throws this super sick smoke off the back wall that lands dumpster in a few seconds. Lake plays this giga bait position and trades out long, and Chicken Coop decide to save, because this round is just completely unwinnable. In round 10, M80 decide to do a monster default, where 3 players are outside of monster. Hex knows that it's again unlikely for a Molotov to get used because Chicken Coop just saved and they have really bad guns. He hears 3 people running in and backs off and he gets a kill. After his teammate sees all this, they look for more trades, but they get smoked off. off. Slacks is able to throw his teammate's gun away here, and I can't say that I've ever seen anyone throw a gun away here, which is pretty sick. Maybe I saw it like 6 years ago, but I can't remember. And this time, Lake hears from his teammates that 3 people are running short, which probably means there's a 4th B player looking at Monster or throwing nades for them. So he looks for space at long, because it's unlikely that you're going to find the solo A player in a really strong position to get this kill, and so he's probably playing back near the site or in connector. There's really just too many things for a solo A player to hold early round if he was going to be playing close, so this is a good bet to take for Lake. And if he can find them, it's really good information for the team. You basically know where all 5 players on the other team are. M80 throws the exact same execute that you saw earlier in the half from long, with Slack sticking back and doing a similar idea to what he did before, which is re-clearing mid behind J-Chance. It gets a little messy, but Lake plays behind this smoke and gets 2 kills. As you can see, it kind of droops out a little bit, leading to the round win. Round 11, this round shows M80 running 3 people from outside Monster with Lake alone towards A. I think it's important that you see how this round is played from Sin, since it's really sick how he supports his teammate with nades. First, Sin throws this lineup for the front bathroom smoke, while Lake plays aggro and jiggles this angle to try to bail out an op shot from someone holding from front bathroom. Then Sin throws this ridiculous Molotov for Divider from outside B, letting Lake play with Swisher's flash. You can see that these are the exact same nades that you would throw from Fountain, just from outside Monster. It's really insane. Off this play, Lake walks straight through mid and keeps walking like a cheater all the way through. This is a great play in this round in hindsight, but if you notice from a lot of the prior rounds, Chicken Coop have been perma holding long with one guy, maybe rotating up from B later to have 3A. So this read is really strong and also premeditated from freeze time. Lake almost does the Tarek whiff from heaven, but M80 are already poised to go B on a B split, and it just works out beautifully. Chicken Coop try going for this man disadvantage retake, but they fail and they lose all of their money. And you know what we call that? Unlucky. The last round of the half, Chicken Coop decided to go for a complete psycho play on this bad buy round. It sort of half works out, but since Swisher knows that there's 3 people running through A, he runs up con and takes space into short. He gets a pretty lucky kill, and Gabe does an FPLC play and walks through the smoke into the short pipe, but he gets traded. I want to highlight this angle that Swisher plays in con, since it's so deep that neither of the players coming down con notice that he's there, and he almost secures the round completely. Look what MDS typed in chat right after this happened. M80 also runs another version of all noobs go B. Lake takes contact at A this time, and he calls for a rotate for his team to come up and play a setup. You can see as this round moves on, Swisher is jump spotting both mid and long. Sin is holding a flash that would have landed Flower Pot for Lake to swing with, which you're going to see later in the half. But he pivots on the long contact and flashes once in front of long and once near the truck so that Lake can keep fighting. They just completely mop the execute. These flashes are so sick. In round 14 against Pistols, we can see the standard default from the CTs. We see Swisher throw the short nades with a Molotov short and a nade in the Condor as the short player, Sin throws the Monster Smoke as the rotator, and Lake throws a T-Steps Molotov while Slacks is nading in the playground. They just completely mop the unarmored Pistols by playing off each other in mid. One of the things that is really important on this map is nading the connector door, because you get so much information and it blocks the Ts from walking up connector that you just have to do it every single round that you can afford to nade. I can't think of a more important concept on Overpass than nading the door. If you're playing T-side and you see that the other team isn't nading the door, go enjoy a free win by walking up connector. Thank me later. In round 15, M80 chooses to throw these double Molotovs towards A. But you can see that MDS, who's playing solo here, really has nowhere to go besides either sit here or peek. M80 nades him, and Lake tries to double nade him, but he misses the nade on this bullshit. Some of them have no contact, and some of them have full contact. It's really weird. Valve, please fix. At B, Swisher throws the same short nades, and Sin spams. If you noticed, M80 didn't smoke Monster this round, which was a premeditated play, and Sin lines up this pug flash for Swisher and Hex to peek Monster with. This is what Seabass and Gabe tried to do on the previous half, but they missed it. Breckmeister gets full blinded, and they kill him with a pug resmoke on Monster, and the round is basically secured from there. Sin then jump spots short, and this is one of the other reasons why you nade the Condor, because when you jump spot, you get double info later into the round. You can see that he gives up the positions of 2 of the T players for almost 0 risk. And it's almost 0 risk because he wasn't permanently jump spotting over and over again to give a sound cue. He just did it once in the middle of the round. In the meantime, Lake and Slacks fall back from A, since the B players are taking a premeditated risk. If they were to to stay closer to mid and T-spawn, they run the risk of losing the round if the B play didn't work, since it's likely that a lurker would hear them rotating back to B later into the round from their positions, so they just stay back towards slant and sight for the meantime. MDS kind of overextends on this lurk and dies to slacks, and this round is basically over. Chicken Coop have to grasp for straws to try to get back in, and it just doesn't work. The Seabass tries to win the clutch, but he loses, and after the round, Hex types this at him for coming out late, monster. In this next round, you can see that Swisher and Hex are playing double B and not the standard 3B. And you can see now that Swisher is now assigned with jump spotting short rather than Sin. Since it's against pistols, he sees somebody sprinting up con early and he starts spamming. At A, the M80 players again throw double Molotovs. And as you can see, Swisher and Hex are both playing a bit more passively since they're double and not triple. But they're not playing too passively to where pistols can come up and close the distance on their rifles. Hex hears a couple footsteps before they do the pop and he's ready for it. And there's barely any nades, so nothing works out for Chicken Coop. M80 start the next round with another 3A play, with Sin throwing a set flash for them to peek. Before they do that, they throw their double mollies into T-steps and playground, and Sin throws this honestly just bugged Molotov through the hedge in a short B. Valve, please fix. Lake then peeks before the flash and he just deletes the opera holding the angle. But if we go back and look at J-Chance's POV, this angle is actually kind of bad. As you can see right here before Lake kills him, J-Chance is so close to this angle that they're now fighting around that he can't even see him. After this aggression falls off, Slacks chooses to play in long bathroom as Chicken Coop most likely have no idea where the M80 players are. And since nothing had come through long, he's partially safe after he gets his kills. After the first kill, nothing comes to immediately trade and he smokes behind himself to give him some cover to fall back. And it works pretty well because, you know, this smoke blooms out really far and he's able to fall back safely. We then see Sin use that flash that he was holding on pistol round for late to peek mid with, and the game is over once Gabe's bait play doesn't work. So what do I think about this game in hindsight? A lot of the stuff that they do is exactly the same as CSGO. There's a few extra minor details with all these weird mollies that go through the hedges and some of these smokes that bloom out differently than CSGO, but a lot of it is basically the same. And I mean, it's just one game, right? We can't determine the entire play style of how the map is going to play based on one game, but I mean, it's pretty vindicating that they're basically doing the exact same stuff as before. I mean, the map didn't really change since CS2 came out, right? It's basically the same map. They just kind of put it back in the map pool. So if you learned something from this video, make sure to subscribe. Peace.